I am Nettie Washington Douglass, the great-great-granddaughter of Frederick Douglass. Breaking free of enslavement, Frederick devoted his tremendous powers to rally a movement to abolish slavery and to fight for freedom, justice, and equality. Finding his voice, Frederick uniquely leveraged all aspects of culture to communicate the pain of enslavement and touch the heart of America. In 1845, just 7 years after claiming his own freedom, he brilliantly commented on the meaning of music to the enslaved.
Sometimes I feel like a motherless child.
I have often been utterly astonished since I came to the North to find persons who could speak of the singing among slaves as evidence of their contentment and happiness. It is impossible to conceive of a greater mistake. Slaves sing most when they are most unhappy. The songs of the slave represent the sorrows of his heart, and he is relieved by them only as an aching heart is relieved by its tears. I have often sung to drown my sorrow, but seldom to express my happiness.
A long way from home.
I've been frequently asked how I felt when I found myself in a free state. It was a moment of the highest excitement. This state of mind, however, very soon subsided. I was yet liable to be taken back and subjected to all the tortures of slavery.
Oh, the car emancipation rides majestic.
After escaping enslavement and moving north, Frederick's growing profile as an eloquent abolitionist put him in danger of recapture. He fled again, this time to Ireland.
One of the most pleasing features of my visit to Ireland has been a total absence of all manifestations of prejudice against me on account of my color. I find myself not treated as a color, but as a man, not as a thing, but as a child of the common father of us all.
In Dublin, Frederick met his hero, Daniel O'Connell, known as the Liberator and a leading international abolitionist.
I have just returned from a great repeal meeting held at Conciliation Hall. I've heard many speakers within the last 4 years, speakers of the first order, but I confess, I have never heard one by whom I was more completely captivated than by Mr. O'Connell.
In January of 1846, before leaving, Frederick reflected on his time in Ireland.
I can truly say I have spent some of the happiest moments of my life since landing in this country. I seem to have undergone a transformation. I live a new life.
Frederick was transformed by his 4 months in Ireland, a journey that led him to be an international champion of human rights.
He who really and truly feels for the American slave cannot steel his heart to the woes of others. And he who thinks himself an abolitionist yet cannot enter into the wrongs of others, as yet to find a true foundation for his anti-slavery.
Frederick returned to the U.S. in April 1847 as a free man, his freedom being purchased by British women abolitionists. He returned with new confidence and agency, determined to fight oppression wherever it existed.
In respect to political rights, we hold woman to be justly entitled to all we claim for man. All that distinguishes man as an intelligent and accountable being is equally true of woman. And there can be no reason in the world for denying to woman a hand in making and administering the laws of the land. Our doctrine is that right is of no sex.
Aged only 34, Frederick lectured in 1852 to the Rochester Ladies Anti-Slavery Society. Historians and humanists regard it as one of the greatest American speeches of all time.
What to the American slave is your 4th of July? I answer, a day that reveals to him, more than all other days in the year, the gross injustice and cruelty to which he is the constant victim. There is not a nation on the earth guilty of practices more shocking and bloodier than are the people of these United States at this very hour.
Did America fight a civil war to defend the Union or to end slavery? The 1863 proclamation did not end slavery, but it forged a friendship between Frederick and President Lincoln. Still, the ending of the war brought disappointment.
I am for the immediate, unconditional, and universal enfranchisement of the black man in every state in the Union. Without this, his liberty is a mockery. For in fact, if he is not the slave of the individual master, he is the slave of society.
Frederick died in 1895 at the age of 77. In his final autobiography, he recalled his time overseas.
The friends of freedom in England and Ireland saw in the Negro a man, a moral and responsible being. In the name of humanity, they denounced the crime of his enslavement. It was the faithful, persistent, and enduring enthusiasm of William Wilberforce, Daniel O'Connell, and their noble co-workers that thawed the British heart into sympathy for the slave.
My great-great-grandfather Frederick was a breathtaking example of the power of transformation. His life was unparalleled in scope and impact. He still continues to be a voice for all time.
Wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. Wade in the water, wade in the water.